Hey guys, today I'm going to be making something that Eric in Texas sent us. This is H-E-B, which make really good products. It's a grocery store near that end of the country. These are caramel pumpkin monkey bread mix. They're limited edition. The calories, I don't know that it matters, but I'll say 3 pieces or 1 1/4 inch ball is 310 calories made, like prepared. So that's how big it is. Overall ingredients, I'm going to say real quick just what you need overall, and then I'll show you when we actually use them. So you need 10 tablespoons of unsalted butter cut into 1/4 inch cubes, and I'll show you that when we get to that part. Half cup of milk cold, the 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter cut into 6 pieces, which I'm just going to do on the fly, and then a half a cup of heavy cream, which I've got measured out right here. So what we're going to do first, the first thing you do is you heat your oven to 350, because you kind of all do this in the process. And the first thing you make is, the first thing you want to do is cut your butter into the cubes. And again, I'll show you that when we get to it. But you cut your butter into cubes, put it in the refrigerator, make sure it's good and cold. The next thing you want to do is line an 8-inch baking pan with parchment paper, and you just shove it in there, basically. And then you need, that's it for that. So the next thing we want is, we've got 2 packets in here. One is the monkey bread mix, and it says H-E-B monkey bread mix packet. And then the other one is, a sugar packet, which is what we're gonna, it's literally just, feels like just sugar. Yeah, it just feels like sugar to me. So we're gonna get a medium saucepan. This is my medium saucepan, and I'm gonna turn it on to medium heat, right in the middle. And we're going to add the sugar and the butter, even though the directions are kind of rough on this part. And it says cut into 6 pieces, and basically just cut it until it's, you know, in sections inside there. Because you don't want one big stick of butter, so I just kind of. And basically what we're going to do is just get a spoon, and you're just going to stir it up until all the butter is melted. And let me read the exact directions. So we're going to put the sugar packet and the butter in a medium pan. We're going to stir constantly with a heat-resistant spatula. I've got a plastic spoon, until the sugar is completely melted. Being careful not to burn. Stir until the butter is fully incorporated, which is basically melted. Slowly pour in the heavy cream while whisking. Bring to a boil for 1 minute, and then remove it from the heat and let it set until it's ready to use. So that's what we're going to do. And I've got a little plastic whisk too. Okay, the caramel's done. I'm going to show you what it looks like. That is not what they sent me, just to let you know. Their directions are really bad on the caramel making part, because they don't say when to add the butter. Could have been at the beginning, could have been after your sugar's melted. I have no clue. No, I don't make caramel all the time, so I have no idea. So H-E-B, if you ever see this, clarify your directions. And maybe say what it's supposed to look like when it's done. So like, keep mixing until it's a light golden brown or whatever. You know, I just don't know what it's supposed to look like. That is caramel sauce from another recipe on the internet. And it has a stick of butter, a cup of brown sugar, and 3 tablespoons of heavy cream. You put the butter and the sugar together until it's melted. Then you add your heavy cream, stir it up until it starts to bubble, and let it bubble for 3 to 4 minutes, no more than 4 minutes, and you take it off and let it set it aside. That was that recipe, so that's what that caramel sauce is. Sorry H-E-B, I couldn't make yours. It clumped up into a big ball, and it seized up like it was like a big ball of like caramel or something. I mean, like a hard candy or something. So I'm sure I overcooked it or whatever. So anyway, that being said, here's the rest of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take half of our mixture and put it in the bowl. Here is my 10 tablespoons of butter, and they're chopped up into little cubes, and you can't hardly tell, but they're little small cubes. And then I've got a half a cup of milk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put half of my mixture in this bowl, and it says to cut the butter in with 2 knives, or ooh, that smells good. 2 knives or a pastry cutter, which I do not have. I think that a pastry cutter is the things that it's got like a bunch of little, it's got a handle and it's got like a bunch of little hoops on it with little wires on it. I don't own one of those, so I'm not going to use it. So what I'm going to do is, I don't think I got half that bag in there. I don't have that, and I don't want to use knives, but I've used my hands to make this kind of stuff before, so I'm just going to I'm just going to use my fingers and, you know, kind of like work it into where it breaks, where I splattered on myself. But all you gotta do is squeeze the butter into little pieces. And what you want is to get it to where it's kind of coarse, like lumpy. It basically says coarse crumbs with some larger pieces remaining. So you can do this with your hands. It might take a little longer. If I had a pastry cutter, I would use it, but I don't. So now I think knives would take you forever. I can't imagine doing this with knives, sitting here and cutting this with knives. So I'm just gonna use my fingers. I'm gonna keep doing this until it gets coarse, and I'll be back. All right, this is what it looks like. And now what you do is you put the rest of the mix in. And it says make a well in the center. I'm gonna use this fork. And it basically says use a wooden fork, a wooden spoon or a fork to incorporate the milk in. It says, the exact words are to stir it, but I don't think you're really gonna be able to stir it. But you're gonna be able to kind of work with it. And it basically says do this until large clumps form. This is their stirring right here. You just kind of do it like you would a cookie mix, you know, with softened butter, where you have to really work at it to get it kind of all moistened. That's really what you're trying to do, is get it moistened. So I'm going to keep doing this until it's all moist and you get large clumps in here, and then we're actually going to clear off the surface, and you have to have a clear surface where you can knead it out, and I don't know why, I guess you have to knead it a little bit to make it get the texture right, and so I'll be back. All right, it's mixed up. This is what it looks like. I've got a lightly floured surface, which countertops make a wonderful surface to work with. I'm just gonna pour this out on here. And you see I've still got some dry spots, but that's okay. I'll bring it all together right now. And it basically says just knead it 3 to 4 times, which I don't know. I guess, like I said, I guess that's for a texture thing. Right now I'm just forming it into a ball. Now kneading it, to me, has always been like that. That's kneading. If it kneads just 3 or 4 times, that was it, literally. So what you do now is yeah, I did tighten it up a little bit. So we make, it says it makes, I'm reading the directions over the camera, 37 to 41 inch balls. So I'm just gonna go through and make these, that's about 1 inch. I'm gonna make all these little balls and just throw them down. And then I'll come back and show you how to assemble it in the pan. All right, now that we made all these little balls, basically you just fill up the bottom of the pan with these. I guess I could have done this before, but. And we made a few less than the 40 or whatever, 37 to 40. I think we were at 32.
Yeah.
But they said do not pack them in tightly because they will rise. So, if I get a small one in right here. That's all I'm gonna do. Okay, and then you take 1/4 of your caramel sauce and pour over the top. And 1/4 is gonna be relative. I mean, how much is 1/4? I don't know. And then put the remaining little balls on top. Just kind of stick them in here. Covering holes up more than anything. And then pour the other, another 1/4 on top of those, which I don't have much, so I'm just gonna drizzle it. And you should have about half your caramel sauce left. Do not pack tightly, they will expand. Bake it for 20 to 30 minutes at 350 until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. So I'm gonna get these in the oven and I'll be back. All right, here it is out of the oven, and it was in exactly like 21 minutes, something like that. And stick a toothpick in, it's perfect. So I've let it sit here for a couple minutes, as the directions say. And now I'm gonna turn it out on a plate. I'm literally just gonna lay a plate on here. Here's my plate. I'm just gonna lay a plate on here, turn it upside down, pull the parchment paper off, and then I'll be back and show you. Basically what you do is you pour the caramel over top. So I'll be right back. Okay, there it is, flipped over onto the plate. And I did have to reheat my caramel sauce a little bit because it was it had thickened up a little bit. So I heated it up just a little bit more, and now I'm just going to literally pour this over the top. Okay, so this basically needs to cool for about 10 minutes, and then it'll be ready to eat.
Okay, we're here, finally. I think our oven was preheating for an hour and a half.
That caramel?
Yeah.
I actually ended up making 3 batches of caramel.
Yeah.
The first batch from H-E-B, which clumped up.
The directions, I have to say, Kevin read the directions, I read the directions. The directions are very, very sketchy. They do not tell you when to add the butter. They assume that you already know when to add the butter, like you make caramel all the time. And it is not in their directions exactly when to add that
And they
butter.
don't say what it's supposed to look like. Is it supposed to be clear? Is it supposed to be brown? Is it what? I don't know what it's supposed to look like.
These look like donuts.
So the second batch I made, I tried to make it with sugar like they did, just regular granular sugar, and then we're gonna. So this is made with brown sugar.
Brown sugar. I tell you what though, the flavor is outstanding.
Well, that piece, all I could taste was the caramel.
Yeah, let me get a piece of just the pumpkin.
It's got a flavor to it.
I still got caramel on it.
The caramel that I made is really strong.
It's fantastic. And you made that a brown sugar.
Brown sugar, but
Wow.
it's really a strong caramel, and it's very sugary.
I love that.
I probably had more than it was supposed to be on here.
Probably.
Well, I said, Tammy wasn't here when I pulled it out of the oven and did the top. I said this doesn't look anything like the front of the box at all. Theirs almost looks like a thin, watery glaze like on top. Mine is like thick, sugary.
I tell you what though,
Covering.
I would make that recipe all the time.
For the caramel?
All the time. That is awesome. I absolutely love that caramel. If you were to make spice cake, any carrot cake, anything, that would be the perfect perfect thing to put on top. I'll absolutely love that. As for the actual H-E-B part, it is good too. It has a very nice pumpkin flavor. There's a little bit of spice to it, but not a lot. It's mainly,
they have a lot of spice to it.
No, it's mainly the pumpkin. I love that. I appreciate it very much, Eric, you sending it to us, very much. But I probably would not choose this mix again, just because I think whoever's making these at H-E-B is assuming, they're going on the assumption that you bake all the time. So first of all, they're not giving you all the information you need, and then they're expecting you to have certain tools, like, what was it called?
The pastry cutter.
Yeah, they're expecting you to have certain tools like that, and not everybody has, this isn't a Duncan Hines or Betty Crocker cake mix where everybody can make it. This is more specialized. So I think they're just expecting you to have a little bit more. It also, I don't know how much it costs, like, because Eric sent it to us, but you have to have a lot of your own stuff. You have to have 2 sticks of butter, unsalted butter, which we would normally not have had. We buy regular salted butter. So we had to buy unsalted butter. You have to have milk, which most people have milk. But we also had to have heavy cream. So we had to go out and buy, that was an additional cost, was buying the heavy cream. So I don't think I would recommend this. There's probably other mixes that are would be cheaper where you wouldn't have to add all that. I don't know. I haven't made monkey bread ever in my life, but I do think you have to add a lot to this.
They do sell monkey bread, not pumpkin spice. They do make monkey bread just already, it's frozen, you just thaw it out basically.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, Cinnabon has their own version.
And there's another brand too.
Yeah, Bridgeford, I want to say.
Yeah.
But you just take it out of the freezer and you just heat it up.
And this would have been easier if H-E-B had included the caramel packet on its own, just already mixed up.
Yeah, already
here's
made the caramel packet. Yeah.
And you squirt it into a bowl and microwave it for a few few seconds.
That
or
would
put
have
it in
been
a pan,
so
or
much better.
Put it in hot water or something like that.
Than to have you making it on your own.
Because caramel's kind of touchy.
It is very touchy. I mean, we've seen them on the Great British Bake Off. People that just literally
Over and over
can't make caramel, and they're trying over and over. So to expect people, you know, that don't make it to be able to make it the first go, that's expecting a lot. So that said, all the griping aside,
Still
it is
appreciate
very good.
It's still very greatly appreciated.
Yes, we very much appreciate it because it's heavy, and I appreciate you you sending that to us, Eric. We really do. It's neat to get to try. I just probably wouldn't buy it again because of all the extras. But I hope you all enjoyed the review, and thanks for watching.